Hey everybody, welcome to Saturday. It's Casey and Rex in the studio from 100.7 The Point and MakeThePointRadio.com. Today's episode is on irony, hyperbole, and frame stories.
Frame story.
Because we're starting with the other two, I think we're going to miss out on the irony. So today's behind the scenes for our patrons is going to be about irony. Hang in there. We'll be right back. So I started to call this episode, It's Not Like Rain on Your Wedding Day.
Yeah.
And instead I called it The Good Advice That You Just Didn't Take, But Not Really.
Okay.
And these are lines from Alanis Morissette's song, Ironic, which any good Gen Xer would know. And yet
also know that it contains no actual scenes of
there's
irony.
no actual irony, and which is maybe in and of itself ironic. Because irony is the last topic on the show notes, we may not really get to it.
Man, that's music that has not aged well.
Well, Alanis Morissette?
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding? She has a Broadway show called Jagged Little Pill, and it won Tonys last year. Yeah,
really?
yeah. And it's all her music. It's all like stuff from Jagged Little Pill. It's a whole show built around the album.
Just like Mamma Mia, right?
Like Mamma Mia. Yeah, and American Idiot by Green Day. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
A Broadway show called Jagged.
Oh, but so they redid the music then.
Well, I mean, it's Broadway singers, right? So they're singing Alanis Morissette songs. Yeah.
Okay, I guess, but man, geez.
Yeah.
The original recordings of it.
Oh, we're talking about the original masters of them, like the
we heard it on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
they don't sound good.
I don't think so. I mean, I think they sound very 90s and of its time.
Yeah, probably.
But when's the last time you even heard one?
I mean, it hasn't been too long ago because I listened to there's an alternative station here, local station, and they play it every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually not ironic. It's usually You Ought to Know. There's an eye roll. You guys missed it because he's off camera, but Rex just rolled his eyes at me. All right, but I want to talk about irony as far as a literary device. Do you write irony? Do you use irony in your work?
Irony is something, again, it's like symbolism. If you deliberately go to put it in, it never fits properly.
It always feels awkward.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be
like,
ironic.
Because I've always come up with the ironic twist first.
Yeah.
And trying to force it in someplace.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to beat the pegs into, the square pegs into round holes to make sure it looks. And it always comes off a little awkward. So I almost always get rid of it because it doesn't fit properly. I mean, when it does, it comes up naturally in the flow of your writing.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. I also think most of the irony that I've ever used has been real life irony.
Right.
Like this thing actually happened in this particular way. And I went, well, okay. But I used to have a professor in my graduate program up at Winthrop University. I had a professor that spoke this way, where he was just a deadpan delivery all the time of exactly the opposite of what he meant to say. Like it was incredible the way this man could speak. And like, I don't think the undergrads that were in the program with me, that were in my class, I don't think they understood what was happening. And I was just mesmerized by it. His name was Dr. Chambers, and I was just mesmerized by it. And he used to tell this story about how in the South, like in the North, when you got crazy people in your family, they put them in an asylum and they pretend like it's like a deep, dark family secret and it's a shameful thing. But in the South, we just let them wander the street. Yes. And he's like, every family has that old Uncle Paul who played minor league baseball, and he still wanders around town drunk as a skunk in his old uniform that doesn't fit, and it's all misbuttoned.
Remember me in 43 from 43.
And he would talk
about part of the Waffletown Syrups.
The Waffletown Syrups. Yes, exactly that. And Chambers would talk about this, and the way he would talk about it, he would just deliver this whole thing like, well, everybody's family has that member of the family that's just a special case, and everybody in the town knows that that's just
a huge burden.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I think irony is a staple in specifically Southern authors. We get that a lot. That's part of maybe the appeal of Faulkner. Think of some of the others. I was like, they've all now left my head, but in that Southern lit class, the irony was probably more relevant in most of what we were reading than anything else. And it might have just been that Chambers liked it, but it is difficult to do it intentionally. I
Yeah.
think sometimes it just sort of happens. We're going to talk about 3 different types: situational irony, and what were the 3 types?
Verbal irony or cosmic irony?
Comic.
Cosmic.
Comic.
Okay.
3 different types: dramatic, verbal, and situational are the ones we're going to talk about. So yeah, I guess I put it in as comic, but it's basically situational. So we'll talk a
Right.
little bit about that when we get on the air later. Thank you for being patrons of the show. We're about to go live at makethepointradio.com. If you're seeing this on our Facebook page, by all means, tune in. 100.7 The Point locally. Thanks to Kevin Cohen and the team for having us here. And thank you for supporting our show. We'll see you soon.